market appointments, now we start to get you some leads. So now we start to talk about appointment setting with leads. So these are people that don't know you, but they sent in a response looking for some kind of help or protection. They responded either to a mortgage protection letter, a final expense letter, or a final expense TV commercial, typically. Or maybe they got a phone call because we have an outbound call center. Might have called the people that sent the letter because they didn't send the letter back. Okay? Or maybe they were on our website and filled out a piece there. So there can be a few ways that people respond, but the key is they all respond and say, hey, need some help up in here. I think I might be getting ready to die someday. Right? I mean, that's why they're responding. Okay? So, Megan, you got started working with leads, and you work primarily, what type of leads?
Final expense.
She works primarily final expense. So we're going to get her talking about what she does to book appointments. Now, what are the different ways you can book an appointment? Who wants to, just imagine, how many different ways can you book an appointment with somebody?
Call.
You can call them. Very good. So you can make a call. What's another way you can book an appointment?
Drive by.
You can drive by. Is there any other ways?
In person.
Does text work?
Not really. But that's the good you're thinking. I was saying, you can call the Psychic Friends Network and ask people to send energy after the universe. People call you.
Sticky notes. The yellow.
Drive-bys and sticky notes. I think that's part of that.
The sticky notes worked out for me yesterday.
Oh, yeah.
Conversation.
In fact, I think we have some of those sticky notes right behind you, Melissa. If you see them on the doors, that's wrong.
Those are amazing.
$20 for...
Yeah.
There gold.
All right, so we've got a few ways that we book, and then there's different lead types, and sometimes the script might be different for mortgage protection versus final expense. And then sometimes you might say something a little bit different if it's a direct mail versus a call-in versus an internet versus a telemarketing. Direct mail, what do you think that means? They sent us a letter. Call-in. They got the letter and they called in, or they saw the TV commercial and they called in. So they can have a call-in from either TV or from the mail, because there's a toll-free number on the letter and there's a toll-free number on the TV commercial. Internet. What do you think that means?
Online.
They let it on our website and filled out a response form on there. Okay? So they went to the Google and found us. Telemarketing.
They got a call.
They got a call from our call center. Correct. Those are 4 ways really that we could have had a trigger. And you'll know from the lead because it'll tell you what's said. So if you see handwriting on a sheet of paper, what would that mean?
They mailed it in.
That would be a direct mail. Can't be a call-in if it's handwriting, right? Just note to self. It's like, I have people get these things confused. So it's like, and if it's still confusing, it says at the top, call-in request, telemarketing request, speed lead web request. I mean, it'll tell you, but just in case you're not as sharp as like me some days, it's like, this might help you, okay? All right. So let's start with final expense.
Okay.
Let's pretend you're calling on a final expense. What do you say?
Okay. I say, do you want me to go through the whole
In fact,
call?
let's go through it. Let's have you call Bruce.
Bruce. Ring, ring.
Hello.
Bruce?
Yes.
Hi. This is Megan. How are you doing?
I'm okay.
Good, good, good. So here recently, I got this in the mail, and it was a card that looks like you and your wife, Betty, had just filled out. And what the card said was, whatever, final expense. I always read off like the first sentence, okay? So, does anybody have one?
Social Security
on them?
benefits, blah, blah, blah.
Do you have one she can use for practice on, Brian?
We
or-
might have one up there in the pile,
Mike?
but I don't know.
Final expense lead?
I don't see one here.
So I always read the first sentence, okay? And I'm like, so I got you guys down just to make sure I got the right people. It says here that you're 65, right? Is that right?
Yes.
Okay, good. And your wife is like 64?
32.
Right. Okay. I don't know.
just moved there last year.
Perfect. Okay, great. So I got, and so when you guys have filled this out, my job is to get this information to you. And I'm actually quite familiar with the Lafayette area. I'm up there quite a bit. So just tell me now, is your house easy to find with the GPS?
Yeah.
Yeah? Okay, all right. So are you guys retired or are you still working or?
I'm retired and she's still working.
Okay, so what's her work schedule look like?
She's usually home around 4 o'clock.
Perfect. Okay, because I'm going to be in the area, so I am going to be there Wednesday, and I'm going to swing by around 4:30. So just make sure you tell Susie.
What's this again for?
So this is about a card that you and your wife had filled out, and it's to make sure that your wife is taken care of if something were to happen to you. So, and vice versa. If something happens to your wife, you're taken care of. So my job is just to get this information to you. So if you could do me a favor, put me down on your calendar, let your wife know I'm coming. And my name's Megan, and I drive a gray SUV, okay? And I'll be super excited to meet you guys. Okay, thank you. See you soon.
All right, any questions on that?
So I don't ever ask, really. I mean, the only thing I'm asking them is like if they're working or if they're retired, what's their schedule like through the week? Because I'm telling them, okay, so you get off work at 4, so I'm going to make sure that I'm going to say like 5 o'clock, 5:30, 6 o'clock, because I know you get off work then, you're retired, your wife gets off at 4, okay? So I'm going to tell you that I'm going to be there at this time, so put me down on your calendar, don't forget about me, and make sure you tell your wife, my name is Megan, and I drive a gray SUV. So if they start to like veer off a little bit, and I always kind of switch it around. Like my job is just to get the information to you, and then I'll go right back to. Now, is your house easy to find with a GPS? Because I'm pretty familiar with that area, but I just want to make sure. So I get them to, like, if they start to say no, I've kind of triggered their mind somewhere else. So, oh yeah, my house is easy to find with a GPS. Perfect. So I don't really kind of let them say no, and I don't ask them a question if I can come. I'm just due to be there at this time. So don't forget about me. Put me down on your schedule. So.
Not asking permission. That's so huge. So many of us want to be told we're wonderful and needed and loved, and we ask people, I would just like to come over. Would it be okay if I come over? I just want to help you because I'm a good person. You can't have that crap in there.
So be very assertive.
Very assumptive. They sent the letter telling you how old they are, where they live, saying they want life insurance. If you have to ask twice, the answer is no. Meaning we asked them when we sent the letter. They said yes when they sent it back, right?
Yeah.
What's the question? You're confirming that you're going over there. What if they say, I don't remember sending this letter in?
Well, that's fine. So I just got this, and this is my job, just to give you the information. I got the paper, so I'm sure I'll clear everything up when I get there, because I'll show you guys the paper that you have filled out to refresh your memory.
So don't seek permission. Be assumptive. If they don't remember, that's probably the reason why you're bringing paperwork out, because they don't remember.
And talk with a smile, because your voice changed so much if you're smiling when you're talking. I got that when I was waitress and bartender. You go back into the kitchen all hungry and go, hi guys.
Yes, we dropped the steak on. Yes, it dropped on the floor.
Yeah.
And it tastes even better.
Steak's not cooked right, so let me get that fixed for you.
Supervisor just to come down.
Okay. Any observations of just other things you notice, the way she says things or how she carries herself?
Very assertive.
Assertive or
Confident.
assumptive?
Assumptive, sorry.
Assumptive?
And Yeah, I like the not asking the questions, making sure we're just refreshing your memory, but I'm not asking if I can do this service for you because you've already reached out to us. I'm just reminding you of the service you're really wanting from us.
Correct.
And sometimes if they're not going to be there, like on that day, then, I'll say, okay, that is fine. So I am going to be in the area on Tuesday, and I'm going to be back on Thursday. So I can either be there at 4 o'clock on Tuesday or 4 o'clock on Thursday, whatever day works best for you. So I'm not giving them an option to tell me that I can't come. I'm giving them the option to pick what day is going to be better for them. So.
We're good. Okay. Yes, Brian.
She's speaking slow enough that they can understand her, but fast enough that they can't ask questions.
I don't like to be told no. I was never used to that when I was a kid.
Because whoever asks the most questions wins.
Okay. Simple things. Simple things. We could make it more complicated, but she sticks to those simple basics. If you talk to 10 people, typically how many appointments do you book?
About 8.
8 out of 10 should book. Okay.
And if I don't, then I'm going there anyway.
Just gonna drive by anyways. It's easy if we just agree to it now. I'm coming anyway.
What happens in that scenario? Oh,
They say
people
no,
are a
go.
lot nicer in person.
Right, okay.
Because they don't have a phone to hide behind, right?
All right.
Would you be scared of this person?
No.
Did you say yes?
No.
Oh, I thought you were going to say yes. You said yes.
It doesn't matter, though, whether you're skinny and young and everything like Megan, or if you're older and bigger and taller like somebody else. It's how you come about it, like the smiling, the friendliness. That comes through on the phone or when you go there in person. It truly does. If you're friendly and assumptive, we mail out millions of these every week. We get about 1% that respond back. Those people want something, need something, and know they need something. And if they trust you, they're likely going to do something if we can find something that they can qualify for. Yes. So that's what we need to do. Just Megan learned this from just doing it over and over again. See what I'm saying? And I don't want people to think that she's perfect at it, because she's not.
No.
But
I don't.
the one thing that Megan did do was she continued to ask questions, and she continued to do it even when she wasn't setting 8 out of 10. See what I'm saying? So you have to be very clear about that, because initially you weren't setting 8 out of 10.
And I am in a home, I don't sell everyone. I don't help every family. You know what I mean? I don't. The ones that I don't, like, I still get really upset about. So I'll leave and I'll be like,
Calls me.
Noel, Mike, like I didn't sell it, I didn't get to close it.
Is anything wrong with me?
I feel like I really suck right now. Didn't I? I think I talked to you on the phone.
Yeah, you do that. Which is good.
She'll have 9 out of
It's
she'll
good
have
because
9
you're
out of
passionate
10.
about it.
And the 10th one, she calls me. Can we talk about the other night first? Well, guess what? Now, guess what? And we can laugh about it a little bit, but here's what I want y'all to see. That's how she gets better.
Yeah.
It's called being relentless. It's called expecting to get better from every appointment. And what can I learn? What can I change? What can I improve from each one? All right, so we're going to keep going on appointment setting. I'm going to do a mortgage protection script. Did you have a quick question?
I do.
Go ahead.
Regarding the mechanics of the call, I've heard it stated before, don't leave voicemail. Also call 3 times in a row. So when you've got your leads, you don't get an answer the first try. Are you calling 3 times in a row?
Yeah, and they normally will answer.
Okay.
It's crazy how that works. So they won't answer on the first, but if you immediately call them back, They'll answer. I'm like, seriously?
When an unknown phone number calls me, I always let it go to voicemail first, and then if they do immediately call me back, I answer the second time because it's usually important.
This is why we have to call 2 or 3 times in a row because of people like Alyssa. That's okay. A lot of people.
A lot of people.
I won't answer you the first time either.
That's right. A lot of people do.
So she's not the only one.
Yeah, you're weird.
Yeah, I'll have people be like, oh, I didn't answer the first time, but when you called again, I thought it was really important, and then I answered, and I'm like, that's what we're trained to do.
So we gotta trick them.
I had to turn my oxygen off first.
Yeah, so are you correlating the age of the person with the time of day, for example? Because if they're 35, they could be working, so are you going to do that outbound call after 5 or 6 p.m.?
Yeah, so, I mean, like, I'll just go through all my leads,
In
you
other words,
know?
the quick answer is no, she doesn't correlate.
Okay.
She has her stack of leads.
Yep.
She calls them all when she's ready to dial.
Okay.
She doesn't get them, she'll dial again another time. I mean, I don't want to give them a simple
I
answer.
just call all of them.
Okay. And so then if you got 3 out of 50, then you're going to go through that list again at a later time.
Yeah,
Same list.
yep.
45 minutes later.
Is it?
I just keep going.
Yeah.
You know
keep
what I
going.
mean?
Yeah.
Okay.
Flip
Keep
the
going
pile over.
till I get to where I want to be,
Yeah.
and that's like 6 to 7 appointments a day, and I will keep dialing until I get that.
Okay.
And then I might go back to prior clients to do reviews to put those into my schedule too.
So then you may call the same number 15 times.
Yes.
Oh yeah, yeah.
Okay.
Now, how long do you spread that out? You don't just do that 15 times in a row.
So first lead, dial once, no answer 2 times, no answer 3 times, no answer. Now maybe the second number, try the second number, what you do, flip the lead over, go to the next lead. Continue dial session, work through, get to the end, take a break. Maybe you're done with your dial session, we start the next dial session, or maybe, well, just look up more time in this dial
Keep
session,
going.
flip the pile back over, we start at the top.
Okay.
And then we take a break or whatever, and now we get to our next dial session, wherever we leave off. Dial, 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 dial. Oh, flip the pile. Start over from the top.
They asked you to call them.
Yeah.
Right.
They're giving you 1, 2, and sometimes 3 phone numbers. They're giving you a lot of personal information.
Yeah, especially on more protection. They're telling you their date of birth, the date of birth, their height and weight, if they smoke or not. You know.
What's really funny is like I'll have the number call me back when I'm doing dials, and I'm like, oh crap, who is that? And I got a slide through my leads, and I'm like, which one is it?
And now I get, oh, Steve, hey, you get back with me.
Yeah.
Hang on a second. Hey, you answer. Hello, this is Megan. Hey, looks like you're calling me back. Yes. Hey, hang on a second. Let me grab your file. Was it? What? I've got you here. I've got a couple of. Let me find yours. I'm kind of killing time and maybe starting to chat. And if they're nice, they're pretty patient. Sometimes like, who's this? It's like, hang on a second. Let me get your file. Steve Smith, right? Oh, so good. Over there on Wilmington Avenue. Yes. Oh, Steve, I'm so glad you called me back. We've been trying to reach you.
Yeah.
Just smiling and rolling with it. And remember, when they call back, if you're going to answer, showtime!
Yeah.
I mean, you got to put on your smile and be ready to go. You can't be like, well, let me push the answer. Hello? Oh, maybe now I should smile. I was like, you got to be like, if you're going to answer, it's showtime. Right? You can't be mealy-mouthed about it.
That reminds me, make sure that your voicemail for whatever phone you're using is, number 1, set up, and number 2 is just very simple and not, you know, how some of these phone voicemails are where your kid, you got your grandkid answering the phone, hey, this is Love Intelligent. No, you don't want that. You want it to be professional, very simple.
Yeah. And here, I typically don't put the word insurance in mine. I just say, hey, you reached the voicemail Mike Leventovich. Message, I'll call you back. I mean, it's simple. You don't need to say, hi, this is your favorite life insurance salesperson. Because I'm curious enough to call you back again or whatever. You don't want them making a decision. But Mike, they want life insurance. I know they want it, but it's kind of like the first rule of life insurance. You don't say life insurance. First rule of annuities, you don't say annuities. It's some of that, so, you know, you gotta keep that in mind. Okay? All right, so we've got some things here. Let's talk about a mortgage protection lien. I'll do how I do a mortgage protection lien. A little bit different. So let's say I'm calling Steve. So Steve, I'm calling you. So you've got a mortgage. So kind of pay attention to the answers or how you answer the questions here. You've got a mortgage, and you've got a spouse or partner. I forget her name. Steve.
Debbie.
Debbie, thank you. Okay.
Sorry.
All right, that's okay. All right, so ring, ring.
Good afternoon.
Steve.
Yes, sir, this is.
Hey, Steve, this is Mike, and I'm giving you a call back. Steve, I'm calling about the mortgage that looks like you took out a couple months ago for the property there on Wilmington Avenue in Greenville, Indiana. Do you know what I'm talking about?
Yeah, are you calling to pay it off?
No, that's pretty good. No, this is not a charitable benevolent foundation. But Steve, let me tell you why I am calling. I'm calling because sometime around the closing, in fact, you may not remember this, but sometime around the closing, it looks like you filled out an application form for the mortgage protection for that loan. You know, that's a program that covers your mortgage payments when you die or have a heart attack or something like that. Do you know what I'm referring to?
I do, and I think I vaguely remember filling that out.
Okay, well, good. Well, that's why it's on my desk, and it's my job to get you that information, go over it with you, and make sure you understand it. And all I need to know right now, Steve, is typically, when do you get home from work?
About 5:30 or 6.
5:36. Well, you know what? And what about Debbie? What time does she typically get home from work?
Just about 30, 40 minutes before that.
Okay, well, good. Well, tomorrow's Thursday, and they have me scheduled to stop by and get this to you tomorrow between 6 and 6:30, and I just need to make sure you guys will both be there at that window of time.
Nah, not tomorrow night, man. We're gonna go work out. She's got us in some kind of a gym program.
Really?
Yes.
That's awesome. Man, that sounds like fun, I think. Is it like cardio or boxing, or what are y'all going to be doing?
It's couples wrestling.
Okay, well, I'm not sure if I want to be there for that, but it sounds interesting. So tell me, how late does that go?
About 7:30.
Yeah, do y'all go out drinking after that, or do you
No,
go right back home?
before.
Okay. All right. Well, tell you what. Well, I've got another family that wanted that 6 o'clock time slot.
Okay.
I can swap you out, and I can give you the 8 o'clock slot that evening. How does that work?
8 o'clock will work, but is this going to get us into, is this going to be long?
Well, if we don't talk politics, religion, and Indiana basketball, it shouldn't take us too long.
All right. We'll be back by 8. Don't know what shape I'll be in, though.
Okay, all right.
Okay.
So let's do this. Let me confirm your address, 1783 Wilmington Avenue. Is that right?
That is correct, sir.
Is that a one-story or two-story house?
One.
Is it brick or siding?
Brick.
What color is the brick?
White.
Okay, and is the address on the house or the mailbox or on the curb?
Mailbox out front.
All right, do y'all have like a red Ferrari parked in the front yard?
No, we got a Vega.
A Vega. Okay,
Yeah.
cool. What color is that Vega?
Red.
Red. Awesome. Okay, well, cool.
Vega.
I'm driving a white sedan. I'll be pulling up there. I'm coming from another family, so I'll be pulling in between 8 and 8:30.
Okay.
So from like 8:35, please don't shoot me. I know it'll be dark. My wife wouldn't be happy. And let's do this. Is there anything else that I should know in terms of trying to find your house? Will GPS take me there, or will put me in?
Yeah, you'll find it easily, and we'll have the front porch lights on.
Okay, great. Oh, by the way, let me have you write a couple things down. You got a pen and paper handy?
I do.
Okay, again, my name's Mike, and we said 8 to 8:30 on Thursday, so you can make sure Debbie sees that.
Okay.
And here's a file number. It's 000348.
Okay.
So just jot that down, and we'll see you guys tomorrow night.
Excellent. Thanks for your call, Mike.
All right, take care.
Bye.
Bye. All right, that's my mortgage protection script. All right, observations or questions? Yes.
The file number that you said, what do you do that for and where do you get the number?
Just use my agent number. I used Noel's that time. You can make up any number.
Do you do it just so they think like you
Sounds more official.
Yeah, it's important.
It's important. Right? If I say write it down, it's important. And it's giving him one more thing to write down, which further engages him and helps lock in my appointment. So I booked 9 appointments for last Friday and Saturday. Everybody was at home except for one. I mean, I sat with 8 out of 9. Why? I do everything you just heard me say when I'm booking an appointment. Right? And And so, I'm just like, I do what you heard me say. So a couple things that I point out in the script. When I said his name, I didn't say, is this Steve? Or I didn't say, Steve? Because have you noticed when you say something with a rising tone, it's like a question? I said, hey, Steve. Flat. Right? So the first word out of your mouth could kill you. What do you mean kill you? You're going to sound like a stupid telemarketer. And guess what? We all have a little telemarketer inside of our heart that's just dying to come out. And if you're not careful, he or she will. You have to smack him down and repress him. Okay? It's like, you got to work on that. We all have one. It wants to come out.
It's the cadence of your call.
It's the cadence. And so there's a script. But who thinks I sounded scripted?
No.
I perform the script. He throws me a question. I acknowledge. He said, what are you doing? What kind of workout? He came back at me. I started asking, but notice I immediately followed up with a question. So it's kind of like my client when I'm on the phone. It's like when I walk my dog with a retractable leash. I'll ask some questions and kind of let him off the sidewalk and onto a little dirt strip or the grass strip between the roads so he can wander and sniff and pee and poop or think he's having a free time. But I promise you my dog ain't getting away. The moment he goes too far, we retract. I ask a question. The question is my pulling back on that retractable leash. So they feel like we're having a conversation. I'll tell you, everything I said was very intentional in that conversation. I never lost control. Can I lose control? Sometimes. But I do my best to fight back by asking a question and pull it back. Okay? So those are some psychological pieces of that, if that helps you see and understand that. Okay? So questions are how we control. So I'm not afraid to engage and acknowledge what they say. Right? So I'm not afraid, because guess what? That's showing some personality. I get him talking a little bit. He likes me a little bit more. I'm actually starting to build a relationship on the phone by acknowledging the reality of what's going on. So I'm not so scripted that I'm telemarketerish and boring. I have a little bit of a personality, and I'll let it out. Okay? That's really, phone skills are so important. And so I'm talking to whether you're new or veteran, everything I'm trying to share with you is like it all matters, right? All right, any other questions or observations? Yes?
Have you ever had anybody come back with a response that just kind of made you lost for words on how to respond back to it?
Yeah, I have, but here's what I do. I said, hoo-wee! I said, that's interesting. Or, huh, wow. Something like that. I make sounds, noises, whatever else to acknowledge. Meanwhile, I'm thinking, what the hell am I saying to that? So they might get me for a second.
Exactly.
But I'm going to come up with a question. Why?
And you know you're going to say something to me when we meet about the wrestling.
Yeah. I was curious. Were they naked? So see, y'all got your clothes back on. I'm just like,
Thank goodness.
And so that's what I'm looking at, their height and weight. It's like, okay, 5'10", 180, that's not so bad. But if it's like 5'11" and 302,
I've seen that. I've seen that knocking on someone's door. I'm like, ooh.
all right, so
It's like that through the whole appointment.
okay. So this is stuff I'm thinking. My mind is picturing as they're talking, right? Because I'm immersing myself, meeting them, picturing their house. I'm visualizing. And I'm making a couple of notes on the Post-it as I'm keeping score. Like there's little things I write down, so just try to remember it. And I don't always have to go back to the Post-it to look at it. Or sometimes I do, but it just like reminds me of, just writing it down helps it stick. Okay, any other observations or questions on the mortgage protection script? Okay, you're going to get certain objections, like, we're out of town. Well, how can you book an appointment if somebody's out of town? Oh, shoot. I guess I won't be coming to your house tomorrow. I said, but tell you what, when do y'all get back? Y'all going someplace fun? You traveling for work? Again, I could just go right back to booking, but I could learn a little bit more about them. Where y'all going? Y'all doing early Thanksgiving? Having fun? I'm just like, just learn a little bit, right? So, some people say, shoot, you caught me on a boat. I'm like, well, that's awesome for you. I'm at work, and it sucks. Yeah. If I can make them laugh. If you can make them laugh, it helps. The guard comes down, right? So, that's big. Anything other tips on the phone? Like, okay, certain objections. Can you just send me some of them? I said, yeah. In fact, we did, remember? And you sent it back. So next price, I'm supposed to get y'all the detailed pricing. So what time did y'all say you get home from work again? Come right back to. Typically, when did you say you get home from work? Or, oh, we're retired. Oh, really? So what kind of, how many doctor's appointments do you have tomorrow? Oh, none. Oh, good. They got me scheduled to be there between 10 and 10:30. Just need to make sure y'all going to be there.
Again, not trying to convince them of anything. It's assuming that they want this.
I didn't ask permission. I just found out when they're home and not home. Because either they have two jobs. They have a job where they go to work, or they have a job going to see doctors. So that's it. Right? Or maybe it's like a job with babysitting grandkids. That might be another job now. But that's it. And so you find out when they're not at their jobs, and then you make sure they're both there. You say, and here's my phrase, they've got me scheduled to be there, and I say in this window of time, from 8 to 8:30, or from 8 to 8:45, they've got me scheduled, 8 to 9, they got me scheduled to be there. Just need to make sure you're both going to be home. All right, now you can have some other little objections. Oh, I can't talk right now. I'm at work. Mirror and match. Write this phrase down. Mirror and match. Oh, I can't talk either. I just need to find out typically, when do you get home from work? About 5 o'clock. Oh, good. They've got me scheduled to be there tomorrow between 6 and 6:30. I'll see you then. We'll get all this taken care of, okay? Okay, bye. She lied. What do you mean she lied? She said she can't talk at work. What's she doing? She answered the bloody phone. So I'm not going to call her out and be a liar. I'm just going to play the same game.
Exactly.
Oh, I can't talk now either. Okay, here's another one. I need to check with my husband. Oh, absolutely. Megan, he's got to be there. Yes. Typically, when does he get home from work? And typically, when do you get home from work? Okay, well, they've got me scheduled to be there tomorrow between 6 and 6:45. I'm going to put this down in writing. Can I get you to check with him on your lunch break? And if it's a problem, call me or text me back, and we'll swap you out with someone. But otherwise, I'm going to be there.
Right.
It's a problem. I like that part where he said, if it's a problem, call me back, because if they don't call you back, then it's an automatic.
Right. You see, now whose monkey is the back? Whose back is the monkey on? It's on hers. Because otherwise, I've got to play phone tag with her, and she's going to see me call after her. Oh, it's the guy. I don't want to answer the phone. I mean, I can hear her groaning. Right? But if I can get it booked now, then I ain't got to chase her.
Yep, you just go anyway. Nobody got in touch with me.
Okay? I'm going to go. Because she said.
What do people do whenever they answer the door? Like you go knock on their door? What do the people do? Like, what are their reactions usually?
Hi!
Hi!
I'm like, oh, good. Is Megan here? Oh, good. Hey, y'all got a kitchen table? Let's make this nice and quick. I'm walking in. I had a buddy. He did cold call, door-to-door sales. And he was telling me, he said, the magic move, one that opened the door a little bit, he said, we went into the rhino mode. You know what the rhino mode was? He said, we put our bag on the ground. So I wiped my feet, and I bent down to grab my bag, and I started walking in. Guess what? We don't have to be that bold. They know we're coming. They know we're coming from the front. I just never forgot. Rhino move.
I might not be a secret at the right.
All right. But it's a thimble full of boldness. And again, we have permission. Remember the letter. Signed permission slip.
Orbit did the rhino move to me trying to get out the door. She ran right into it.
Yeah.
Dogs
Okay.
got it, yeah.
I mean, what's the worst they're gonna do? Tell you no?
Yeah, exactly.
I mean,
like that's what.
you know, I mean,
Okay.
like, so what? You go to the next one because you can help so many more families.
Okay, so call me, drive by. All right, what do you do on a drive by? Is there anything else you do before the drive by? Like before you get up to the door? That's another one where you can wave at the house.
Yeah, you wave.
Wave
And
to
that
house.
actually worked. I did that.
And smile.
Wave and
That's it.
smile.
And you can see their little heads peep up out the window. And you're like,
Shoot, they saw
you're
me.
like, oh. This girl.
So smile and wave.
So
is the first thing.
that actually works, right? They
Yeah, it
actually
does.
do. Yeah.
Okay, then you knock on the door. They answer the door. What do you say?
Say, hey, Betty, I've been trying to get in touch with you. I have this letter here. This is what I actually did when I was in Greencastle yesterday because nobody was working in that area. And I'm like, I've got this here and I've been trying to get in touch with you because nobody's working in your area. My manager had called me and said I needed to pick up this area because nobody's been out here helping anybody. So I'm glad you're home because I just wanted to go over this with you. And then they're like, oh, okay, well, yeah, we filled this out a while ago. I'm like, I know, that's why I'm glad I'm here now. They're like, yeah, we are too, because this got put on hold for so long. And so, go in there, sit down, help them out.
You can do it immediate, or you can book her later. You've got two choices when you're doing a drive by. So it's kind of like a phone call, but in person. Or somebody else calls it in-person appointment setting. Okay? However you want to look at it. Now, so you either say, you got to make sure they're both there. So I might say, hey, Megan, your husband's not home by chance. He's probably not home, is he?
No.
Okay, well, shoot. Well, yeah, we obviously can't do this now. Or she might, some people will tend to be like, disagree with you. I learned this from Alex Avian. So like, if you're going to someone's house and they're serving up this nice apple pie, you know it goes really well with apple pie, right? Ice cream. Vanilla ice cream. And so if they don't have no vanilla ice cream on the table, it's like, Lauren, y'all don't have any vanilla ice cream, do you?
No.
Yeah, some people want to be like, they're almost like, a lot of people are going to be tempted to disagree with you, especially if they do. Oh, no, we have some? Oh, wow,
Yeah.
that would go really great with this. Okay? Versus to say, do you have any vanilla ice cream? No. So I bet you don't have any vanilla ice cream, do you? They might be more tempted to want to disagree with you than agree with you.
It's a negative reverse.
It's kind of what we call negative reversal, okay? So that's some phrase. So, hey, your husband's probably not home right now, is he? Oh, he is? Oh, well, maybe we can knock this out right now. Okay, or if not, both people, no, he's not. Let's, hey, let's find time when you're both here. So that's the next one. So let's say they're not there. So we got the sticky note.
Yep.
What do you do on the sticky note?
So I write their name, their address, the date, the time I was there, first attempt contact me, phone number, and then I make up some ID number. Stick it on their door.
Okay.
They'll call me back because they're thinking they're getting some lovely gift.
Smile. All right. So if you do a door knock, the worst thing you do if they're not there is just leave and not do anything. Put up a sticky. What if they're out for my sticky notes? I don't get a piece of paper. Jab yourself with a pen and bleed on their door. Do something, mommy. Give them a chance to call you back.
Yeah.
It's like if you have your phone number written in blood, somebody's calling you back. I promise.
Yeah. Sometimes they'll call back and be like, who is this? But then I booked an appointment off that yesterday.
That's right.
He texted me like 5 times. If you don't text me back, then I'm going to guess this is a scam. And then I called him. He's like, oh, okay, yeah, I'll be home on Saturday. I'm like, all right, perfect.
Okay. So having a sense of humor throughout all this, not taking yourself too seriously.
Sometimes it's important to, if they have a front door or a side door or, something, to leave a note on each one of those areas.
Yeah.
Or even a back door, because sometimes people don't use their front door.
Right.
So,
All right. I'm going to do a turbo mode of when you start to get leads, a couple things, something we call the 4 Ws, so I'm not going to go into break it down. We'll just talk about when you plan your first dial day. Okay, typically we have multiple dial times a day, so you have a morning session. So if it's a weekday, your dial times on a weekday will be like 8 a.m. to 10 a.m. You can start as early as 7:45 or 7:30 if you wanted, but 8 to 10, you catch people still getting into their day. Okay. Then doing a midday dial session. What's that? Like 2 to 4. Okay. And then doing an evening dial session, like 6 to 8, 6 to 8:30, 5:30 to 8:30, 6 to 9. Those times work. Okay. So, but having a morning, afternoon, evening, because you're asking when are people home. You don't know who's home at what time. You might want to guess by age, don't guess. Just try them all at the 3 times. And if they're available, they'll answer. That's what I found. Don't try to outthink it. And sometimes it even says best time to call. Just wipe that out of your brain and ignore that because that was at the time they filled it out. Think, well, if you called me today, the best time would be at 2 o'clock. It was a week later. They don't call. It's like, so just ignore that and don't overthink that. Hi, Lindsay.
Hey there, how you guys doing?
Good. Okay. So we have dial time. So the 4 W's of defining your dials and when you're going to work. When am I going to dial? And it's the day and then the time slots and treating those time slots like a job. You should know, hey, I can knock out 60 dials in 2 hours or 70 dials in 2 hours. It only takes a minute to do a dial, so you can easily get a dial every other minute. So to do 30 in an hour, like I said, Mike, I work so hard. Well, how many dials were there? 18. I said, how long was your job? 2 hours. What else did you do? I mean, was Oprah good today, or did you watch The View? I heard there was another fight on The View. Can you tell me about that? Who did Whoopi yell at this week? I'm like, is she still on The View? I don't know. I have no idea. I'm just like, that's my mind is going. I'm wondering what I missed. So on the phone, focus in those time slots. Second thing is, when am I going to run my appointments? So you're going to have the days you're going to run. So if you're dialing on a Wednesday, you're probably booking for Thursday and Friday. And initially, we coach people to book on 2-hour time slots. So ideally, you book for 8, 10, 12, 2, 4, 6, and 8. That would be 7 appointments. Okay? And do the same thing on day 2. Or the second day of your appointment. So you say, I'm going to dial the 3 time slots on Wednesday to book for these 7 time slots Friday and 7 time slots on Thursday. That would be how we want to work that. Third W is where am I going to run? We look at a number of counties. So you'll probably have a list of here are the 3 or 4 counties that I'm willing to go to. And then we'll evaluate what's the best one for the situation based on for these 3 days. So we don't want you going into 4 counties in one day. We want you going to 1 county for 1 day and trying to have a full day. Okay? The 4th W is we talk about what's my lead investment. Now, at first it might be 0, but as you start making money, we'll coach you up and ask you questions about, hey, you had some money come in for that sale, good job. How much would you like to reinvest toward helping yourself get more leads? And we'll have that conversation with you. But those are the 4 W's of appointment setting. So we'll talk more, but that's the appointment setting. Any other quick questions? Okay? But if not, we're going to bring up Noelle. And hey, give Megan a hand. She's tearing out.
Not bringing up me now?
Yes, that's what we got next, right?
I can do this.
Oh,
now.
I'm sorry. I had it wrong.
That's okay.
wrong.
I can do this now because if I need to redo this video, I need to redo it.
So I will.